So I'm going to be talking about both Monday Night Football games, one on ABC and one on ESPN, and give you my thoughts on the games. So let's talk about the first one. So in this one, the Minnesota Vikings, they defeat the Chicago Bears on ABC 30-12. It was a good solid game by Minnesota. They played well in the first quarter. The second quarter got a little slow. Got a little bit of sloppy. Cedar threw the interception. I just thought he was going to throw. I don't know if he was going to try to throw a balance or got tipped or something, or jump ball and try and throw a balance or something. He kind of did throw in the air, you know. So I don't know if he, you know. So, but either way, because he was hoping not to. I mean, it didn't hurt him too much because actually was reduced yards for Chicago, but so it didn't really hurt him that much actually. It's kind of like a mini low kick or something, and then like took field goal in that second quarter. But then the third quarter, they put it. They were still. They got a little bit out, a little bit sloppy, like back. You know, not like getting like first downs or nothing like that. They had no first downs. It's like 5 minutes about in the third quarter, and then they ended up going like the hurry up offense. So like it was hard for Chicago with the sub, unless Minnesota was subbing. You know, and that's the only something which they did a little bit, but they mostly went hurry up, and it helped. It worked. And then in the fourth quarter, Cairo Santos kicked a 3-yard field goal, and Cam Akers scored a 1-yard touchdown. And in the third quarter, Aaron Jones Sr. a 1-yard touchdown. So that was pretty good. We're going hurry up. And then, but the only thing, but in the fourth quarter, they had a block punt. They had a block punt with about 6 minutes to go after the Bears used all 3 timeouts. Chicago Bears used all 3 timeouts. And then it was inadvertent. It was just off the face mask in the normal routine. And then the kick, and it was like a blitz, big blitz on the punter. And then it was touchdown. And then we come to a touchdown for Chicago. And then they end up getting a penalty on the defense, 12 men for Minnesota. And then they end up going for 2, and they couldn't. Because I know what they were trying to do, go for 2. So then if they get 2 touchdowns, I'll use 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, and then they ate up the time. And we're able to get a 30 field goal, 46-yard field goal that is, and make it 1-12 to go. And that was the game, 30-12. The Minnesota Vikings have a solid win. Now they got have a stretch to win all 3 games. They have a stretch where they could, and if they do, then they have a chance, you know. So we got a stretch of winnable games. Minnesota does, especially if Geno Smith doesn't come back, because he haven't said if Geno Smith's able to play or not. So it's Sam Howell, the backup, was Washington Commanders starter last season, and then it's Green Bay at Minnesota, and then it's it's Minnesota at Detroit. So that they have, especially with Detroit Lions being banged up on offense, starting to be banged up on offense. Their defense was banged up, but they have a chance, you know, to win all 3 games, and they would clinch the division because they would have the tiebreakers. There would be like a 97% chance they would clinch the number 1 seed, but in all, they would still clinch the 2. The worst they would do is clinch 2 if they won all 3, but they have a 97% chance to win the 1 with. And then if they lose, one of those 3 games, and Detroit wins out, then if Detroit wins out, and Minnesota Vikings lose one of those 3 games, which presumably then would probably be Detroit. Then, and like I was saying, they have like 3 winnable games. I mean, they have a game against the Detroit Lions game is the only game that's a little bit iffy, but they do have some injuries, so maybe that can help them. And Minnesota has been playing well. So we'll see on that one. That was the game on EBC and ESPN Plus. And we had the game that was on ESPN. ESPN exclusive and simulcast to local TV networks. Local TV markets and local TV network stations in the area over there. And like per NFL rules. So they can get more viewership in the local TV markets. For people that don't have like cable or that channel on their cable package. And so the Atlanta Falcons proved at 7-7. They were 2 back in the win column over Tampa Bay. And they improved to 7-7 with a win over the Las Vegas Raiders, who fell to 2-12. It was not a very eventful game for Atlanta. Atlanta just scored a touchdown on the first score, and then a field goal by Daniel Carlson, a safety, and then 2 field goals, one midway through in the third, about 9:25 in the third, and 13:20 could have been on their possession or could have been after they landed with Las Vegas possession, but either way, it was like opening possession of the first or second half for Atlanta. Looked like then the third quarter 15-3, but then a third 15-9, and 5-yard touchdown pass and blocked extra point for Daniel Carlson. That made a 15-9 game, and then Atlanta had the ball, couldn't get it, and couldn't hold on to it for all the time. And then Las Vegas had it on the Atlanta 35-yard line, and then just it went 2 plays, tried to do 2 Hail Marys, and just couldn't, or it couldn't even get closer, on it, and that was on the first the play with then. And yeah, so it was 15-9, and that was the game. So Atlanta, that is a win that Atlanta has to have after they looked like they were in dire control though. They had 3 losses in a row. 1 loss to New Orleans, lost to Denver, lost to LA Chargers, lost to Minnesota. And if they lost to Las Vegas, that'd be really bad. But they're still in hope for the playoffs contention. It's just they're really down thin. Really thin now. They just need a couple more. They got 2 winnable games, one against NY Giants, one against Carolina. They got 1 probably maybe against Washington. But it could be Tampa Bay's. It's Tampa Bay's division to lose, so. But if Tampa Bay loses the game and Atlanta comes back, with the win, the match, same week, then it's all over, Well, not really, but Atlanta will have the tiebreaker again because Atlanta won twice over Tampa Bay.